and I did want to test out that last Guardian. So it was the Fire Guardian. Legendary deed complete. Be the first to have 50 of each strategic resource. And we get the Benevolent Emperor. Plus 100% dust when happy. Well, that was a happy accident. We're only content now. Let's go and activate some of our luxuries here. We may as well push ourselves up to happy. Ooh, Dust Orchid. Huge boosts to all of our yields there. We're about to finish out the game, so we may as well... Well, we're already fervent. And is there a particular name for 100%? 97? Fervent is fervent. Good enough for me. We've just hit winter, or the dark season. So all those boosts would have been more effective during summer, but I guess we're covering for the winter loss. And we can go and, well, first queue up that last Guardian. Was that Photios, the Fire Guardian? Also ranged, has Eternal Fire, Ward, and Infantry Slayer. Alright, well, let's get him going. Go rush by him for 5,000, and then we'll have tested all of the Guardians. El Hardy says 100% is still fervent, so we fired all those guys off just for fun. There's this interesting shield here. Is this Earth Guardian using his fortification ability? That's probably what that's indicating. So that's kind of cool to see. I've never seen that animation before. Alright, let's go and grab that charged crystal. The energy crystal has been repaired. It is an unexpected pleasure when projects go according to plan. Oh, don't I know it. Now that the energy crystal is repaired and fully recharged, little is left to do but to take the final step. We are ready, but perhaps unprepared. It is one thing to leave a village or travel to a new region, but to depart from a planet with little understanding of where or how we will go is hardly reassuring. The sages assure me that the ship will guide us safely to a new home. The governors are preparing great stores of food, or Broken Lords, and materials for the trip. In leaving, we depart from a place that we thought of as home, and ourselves as its occupants. It is somehow easier to leave knowing that it was more a laboratory, and we were merely descendants of its specimens. Alright, so that's actually what happened here. Do we feel kinship more with those who experimented on our ancestors, or those who broke open the locks and released their own experiments upon them? Yeah, so Auriga was a laboratory of the Endless, and all of the factions were experiments who developed a life of their own. Each nation, each person must make this choice to come to grips with their past as we take a great leap into our own future. A sage assured me that this is similar to taking any great risk. You jump off a cliff and learn to fly on the way down, or in this case, on the way up. All that remains is to load the goods and citizens into the vessel. A simple task? No? Search the initial ruins in Ismalar with an army of at least 6 settlers of level 5. The settlers must be led by a hero equipped with the energy crystal. So Ismalar, I think, is over on the other continent, and we need to generate level 6 settlers. Or was that level 5 settlers? Let's quickly check that again. Departure. Level 5 settlers. I think their level corresponds to your tech era, so if we were to just rush by out a settler right now, we'll see what level he will pop out as. And if it is level 5, then we'll just buy 6 of them, or 5 more. Equip a hero with an energy crystal. I guess that'll be this guy here. If it takes him too long to walk back over, it's going to take him 4 turns. and then we can just go and reassign him to the settler army. And then we'll have a small contingent of Broken Lords somewhere in the stars. Alright, well, while we've been hanging around here, let's go and... how many fortification points are left? Quite a few. Probably don't need to attack. Alright, just flip that turn over. We're now making over 4,000 dust per turn. Note that we turn one of the key events in this game where we turn things into a really dominant position was completing the heroic deed of having 4,000 dust. And so that took us several turns to accumulate, probably 25 turns for us to work our way over to 4,000 4,000 dust, and that got us, I think it was the adamantium that we needed to upgrade our army. But now we're making 4,000 dust per turn. So anyways, settler done. He is a level 6, so I just need to purchase out 5 more. Where are these settlers? Settler here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Wait. I spot the wrong thing. 3, 4, 5. I guess while we're here, we'll just queue up a dust refinery. Alright, so that'll be our army of settlers. Meanwhile, we've got this guy queued over to move towards Ismolar and our own home territory. So the ship will be loaded up soon. And oh yes, we've got, before we launch into space, we do want to see what our Fire Guardian does. I just got the Collect 'em All achievement for building out one of each of the Guardians, and we can reactivate the Dust Booster, that's fine. Who should we attack with these guys? We can go and see. Oh, we should definitely go and gear this guy up with all of the best stuff so that we can at least show off his best abilities. So here we can boost his health, initiative, and damage, or defense, and 100 point boost in damage versus 50. The trade-off being a little less initiative and no health boost but a defensive boost. Let's go for more damage here. And as for items, he is ranged, so we don't need Intimidation Aura. Could the free... None of that stuff seems strictly necessary, but we don't need to be stingy. Let's just toss that stuff on there. If he's going to be holding back, if he's fighting with a mixed army, then our ranged guardians are more likely to make good use of shared wisdom. And then if someone comes up beside us, the free counter is probably nice. Alright, fine, we'll do the free counter. So we got 2 counters if we get into the unfortunate situation of not being able to do our range attack. So there's Photios Profile 2. Go and retrofit him. And 1 Guardian versus 3 Tenny Walkers. That should be fine. Let's see what our Flame Guardian can do. Alright, so it's very much in our favor. This is 1 unit versus an army. So exactly as promised, this is 1 level 6 Guardian versus many level 6 units. I mean, sure, some of them are militia, but let's see how this plays out. Oh, did I auto that by accident? Oh, they're retreating. Alright, well, we gained some experience. A whole heck of a lot of experience. Enough to gain 2 levels on Photios there. Alright, well, if that's the case, let's cut off the retreat a little more. Or at least get a little closer to chase them down. Because I do want to see Bodios in action. Alright, and so our settler army should be finished soon. Here our main hero is coming into our own territory, and then he can meet up with the settlers as soon as we drop into our territory here to re-equip ourselves, or equip ourselves with the energy crystal. So Baron, our original starting hero, we can drop the Sighing Scepter of Ire, or yeah, we'll drop the Sighing Scepter of Ire. It's done its job. We'll go and equip this guy with the Generator Crystal. Apply that, and we'll be on our way. Although, could we retrofit some of these Dust Bishops? I don't think that'll be necessary. Whoops. Keep on going on our way here. That's all of our movement used up. Here, we've got the 6 settlers. Make an all-settler army. I feel like we should provide them with some sort of an escort, but they'll just head over to Ismalar, and if someone kills them, we will have our revenge with our main army. So those guys are headed over. Obese Films asks how much this game costs. I think, well, it goes on sale every now and again. I think the base game is somewhere around $35, and I'm also playing with one paid expansion, which was released less than a week ago, and the expansion is $10. But we've got this army here. This is a very good-looking game. I'll definitely agree with you there. And I do want to see our Fire Guardian in action, so hopefully they won't retreat. But they did retreat. And they're down to almost no hit points, so they're not going to be able to retreat again. But if they're almost completely damaged, then it won't really be a fair fight. I won't get to see exactly how powerful our Dust, or rather our Fire Guardian, is. I guess if we really wanted to test how powerful these guys are, we could fight armies with fortification points. We could throw ourselves against one of these cities. Meanwhile, I suppose we could have all 5 Guardians go and attack this city. That could be a fun way to end the series. Meanwhile, our hero. I suppose we can swing around to here, join in that siege. Obese Films. So while this is the first game that I've played with the expansion, I have probably, I guess I can check my Steam stats. Let's have a quick look at that. I've got 155 hours on this game, so I definitely like it. I played a whole bunch when the game first came out. Its official release was about half a year ago. So if you think it's a hybrid between 4X games, the genre that Sid Meier's Civilization started, and it has a bunch of RPG elements as well. So each of your units and your heroes level up with combat and other events, and you can modify the equipment and weapons that they're carrying. And then as it's a very beautiful looking game, and I'm really enjoying the unique lore and story that they have going as well. Alright, so we're headed over to Ismalar to launch that ancient ship. We've got the energy crystal and the settlers, who will be pioneers. Let's see, they're not really the fastest moving settlers though, are they? I guess since it is winter, our movement is halved, otherwise they would be going 8 hexes at a time. PK, the Wildwalkers are close to a quest victory. They are at chapter 2 of the victory quest. We're also doing the victory quest win here. And these Minotaurs could potentially make trouble for our settlers. Can we embark along the water? Will that be safer? I think it will be. So let's pop into the water and we'll get to Ismalar by sea. That should work. And as for these guys, I guess, well, let's go and attack any units that could potentially make trouble for us before that happens. Alright, so let's go and show off some of the combat animations for our interested viewer who is encountering Endless Legend for the first time right now. Let's go and deploy everyone as far forward as possible. Everyone's within range to deal damage. And then you can queue up their stances and tell them who to attack, but then all of the actions are resolved with a sort of a hands-off kind of thing. So if you were playing multiplayer, both players would assign their targeting and their stances, whether they're on hold position, aggressive, or defensive. And then each unit has its own initiative score, and that controls where it goes in this sort of turn order. And then based on their stances and targeting, the units will try to execute their orders. If they can't execute their orders, then their attacks are governed by whether you've set them to aggressive, defensive, or hold position. So it's a nice mix of control. So for some people who want to do a little more micromanagement, the system might be frustrating. But for me, if I want to be lazy, I can just let them run. And if I want to think about things, then there's a lot of things to think about. Plus, in terms of multiplayer, I do like the planning phase and then simultaneous action resolution. I like that a lot better than fast clicking. Although in multiplayer, there are situations when you're moving your armies along the map where fast clicking is important. Alright, so we want to see an all-hero or all-guardian army. So we're going to have, even though it doesn't make sense to have a single unit lead off the attack, it would be better if we led the attack off with our larger army. Since I want to see our Flame Guardian in action, let's have him lead the attack. And this is very much in our favor. So if I want to make sure it's an all-guardian fight, let's just have the guardians only. We'll leave these guys out of the fight. So 5 guardians versus a city that still has fortification points. And let's see how this goes. And they are going to be spawning in one at a time. We've got a ranged unit here. Let's have him move into high ground forest. He's got a range of 3. Maybe we should have him stand somewhere else. These guys move speed 2. Yeah, it's probably better if we stand over here perhaps. We're still going to be high ground relative to most positions. How much movement does this guy have? Speed 2. Alright, fine. We'll stand high ground forest. Those will be good stat multipliers. And we've got our 2 reinforcements coming in. Since these guys do have shared wisdom, let's have speed 2. Let's have them stand beside each other to give each other their buffs there. Extra morale. And then they'll just stay where they are dealing their range attacks. So 1, 2, 3, that seems fine. Let's have him on hold position. And we'll have this guy on defensive so that he doesn't go charging forward. And then the other guardians, who are melee units, will charge forward. Alright, so our Flame Guardian, not really the most exciting, and I forgot that it is winter, so we do only move the 1 step instead of the 2. But next turn we'll be able to stand beside our Fire Guardian for the mutual shared wisdom. Meanwhile, everyone else is on aggressive stance, that'll be fine. So I mean, that is a lot of damage for a range attack, but it's not really the most exciting. What are the other special abilities on our Fire Guardian here? We'll check the next time things roll over. Alright, so now unfortunately our Water Guardian is surrounded here, so he's not going to be able to do much of his Tsunami Charge, which does deal a hefty amount of damage. Let's see. Let's have this guy attack this guy instead. They've got a lot of fortification points, which could make things more troublesome for us. And we might have to start healing up our own Guardians as well. El Hardy's thinks that the Flame Guardian is mostly meant as an anti-Guardian unit, since it does massive ranged damage, but it has no area damage effects. And so I definitely follow that rationale. I'm inclined to agree. The free counter actually did more damage than we would do on a ranged attack, and we should start moving our Flame Guardian up to start healing our Water Guardian. Meanwhile, are we going to... We should be able to get an Earthquake attack off on our guys here. Meanwhile, we can try to get into position to heal our Water Guardian. Alright, so nice. The Water Guardian on his own moved around to get the most out of his Tsunami Charge. He deals more damage the more hexes he walks before he deals damage to the enemy. And then he ended up doing a bunch of damage to the other nearby enemy units as well. So that worked out pretty well. No micro required from us. El Hardy's is saying that one of the weapons we could equip to the Flame Guardian is one that deals damage over time, 10% hit point damage per turn, basically setting our enemies on fire. So I don't know if that's what we have equipped right now. Let's mouse over. I'm guessing Wood Burner plus 25% damage on unit on a forest tile. That sounds pretty cool. Eternal Fire burns its target for 6 rounds when attacking. Burning unit loses 15% of its life every round. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we deal damage and then we keep on dealing damage. Alright, let's set this guy to aggressive stance then. These guys can just go about their business. Alright, so that went just fine for our Guardians. We didn't lose anyone, but we did use up all 6 of the rounds, so we weren't able to capture the city, which is fine. I'm just sort of goofing around. I want to see what all the Guardians do. They're definitely fun units. At the beginning of the game, they're a really hefty investment, and I feel like at that stage of the game, they're weaker than a similar army. But they're definitely fun to play with, and it'll take more experience in poking around with the Guardians to decide when they might or might not be worth using. But they're definitely cool. So here's all the Guardians lined up. Maybe we can make that the thumbnail or something. If I could rotate the camera and actually have them face my direction, that would probably make for a better group shot of our army of superhero Guardians, but that'll have to do. Alright, and how are my settlers doing? They're getting closer to the ship at Ismalar. Good night, Star of Hope. And we can see how the Eye to the Stars victory story ends. If it's just a straightforward, your settlers launch into space, off to a new journey, or if there's another twist. Okay, so we're gonna have our settlers land right here, within the protection of our main army. Stand right beside the settlers, just because I'm paranoid. And then we'll head over to the fissure where we first discovered the remains of an ancient ship. Meanwhile, one of our governors may as well grab level 2 dust trickery for a total of plus 30% dust output. And in 2 turns, we'll be over to that fissure with the pillar of dust emanating very visibly. And the roving clans are also working on a quest victory. They're just at chapter 1 of 5 on the victory quest, whereas we're about to complete chapter 5. So this should be the conclusion of our impossible difficulty Broken Lords. I need to probably equip the hero to this army. If that's the case, let's run around here and add in one of our dust bishops and one of our stalwarts. Let's take one of our most senior dust bishops, add him to the army there, and one of our most senior stalwarts. As a reward, they'll get to shepherd our spacefaring pioneers into their next adventure. We'll assign our primary hero, who is Baron II, not Baron III. And into the ship with the power crystal. Departure. The power crystal powers the engines. Wait 4 turns until the engines are ready for takeoff. Alright, so that's cool. I guess if we were playing multiplayer, or if the AI was... Oh, that's really cool. That's the ship right there. That's the first time I've seen that. Huh. Alright, so if you're playing multiplayer, or if the AI was more of a problem, then we'd probably need an army to guard the ship. And I guess mistakenly, we did load up some of our troops onto that ship as well. But for thematic reasons, I felt like they needed a bit of an escort. So just in case we actually have to fight someone off, let's go and assign a hero to this army right now. So there we go, a little more firepower just in case someone is going to come around and try to stop our ship from taking off. We'll just have ourselves on sleep/guard duty. And who wants to see another Guardian fight? That's probably not necessary. Oh, okay. We'll just roll the turns over then. I was worried because we had popped back to on the map. The ship was a white color, so I was worried that more than one faction had a ship going, and that we were going to be in some sort of a race situation there. But we'll just have to wait for takeoff. T-3. T-error. Alright, well, we can probably just continue as is. Work our way past that error. And some people are trying to attack our Guardians. We may as well watch our Guardians fight that out. We've got our Water Guardian ready for his tsunami charge. That seems like as good a place as any. We're not going to get much closer to wherever these units end up spawning out. And I feel like we need some really epic music rolling in the background now, running through that countdown. You know, maybe integrating some music from Endless Space, or even Dungeon of the Endless. But that was easily dealt with. Alright, that's fine. T-2. Over in Ishmilor. The ship's just hovering here, powering up. T-1. Oh, and we've got some sort of a construction question. Karadar, the Benevolent Emperor? Sure, why not? I can build that in any city, so I'll build that out wherever. Auriga, for as long as it does last, will be making lots of dust. And while I looked away, the ship was sailing off, so is the ship somewhere on the map now, or is it just gone? Alright, well, we'll roll the turn over once more. Do we get a nice little splash screen? A victory illustration of some kind. Quest complete. Departure. We commend ourselves into the hands of the Endless. Perhaps they were mortals? If we survive this journal... if we survive this journey, they are gods enough for us. I don't know if I follow that logic. If you're following in the footsteps of your creators, reaching presumably their pinnacle, reaching space travel and space exploration, do you not become your gods? But anyways, we're victorious. There's a bunch of Broken Lords looking happy, exposing their empty suits of armor. Some priestesses holding up little burning urns. And in the background, there's the ship launching itself into space. So I guess that's appropriate for the space victory, or more accurately, the quest victory. And we can have a quick poke over at the score screen. So, how did things end up working out? We're blue here. We sort of trucked along while the AIs eliminated each other. So the first to go looks like it was it was the let's see, this symbol is the Ardent Mages. The Ardent Mages ran into trouble first, and they were eliminated first. The next race or faction to run into trouble was the Draken, and they were eliminated second. Then it was the Vaulters who were eliminated. Then the Necrophage, then the Cultists. The Cultists we killed ourselves. The Wildwalkers were doing really well. I think that they were the Civ who eliminated the Necrophage. Then we knocked the Wildwalkers down, and as for the roving clans, I don't know how they slowed down. I guess they ran out of space to conquer. But in the end, all of us were pretty much neck and neck on score, and the other civs had started walking down the space victory quest as well, with the Wildwalkers at level 2 and the roving clans at level 1. So we essentially won the game somewhere over here once we had our army ready. I think this first little dip in the Wildwalkers score here is when we won our first key victories, and from there it was all smooth sailing. I think the game ended up being really easy for us because the other factions got into a lot of costly and deadly fights with each other, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that we chose on a whim the new map script, which crams all of the factions onto a single small continent, and the AI didn't really react very well to that. They just knocked each other down, so we had far fewer neighbors to worry about, and it also had the added benefit of reducing their army numbers, although the units that did survive did have more experience, but I don't think it really balanced out in their favor. Anyways, that's the end of this Endless Legend playthrough, my first YouTube playthrough for the Guardians expansion. We got to see the Guardians in action. This was on Impossible difficulty, doing the Broken Lord's main faction quest with the this whole Eye to the Stars expansion quest tacked on to the end. And so it was pretty interesting. We found out that Auriga was some sort of a laboratory planet, that the Endless are some sort of a master race that went extinct, and that the factions that are fighting for control of Auriga, a planet which is going through some serious seismic activity with rumors of some sort of impending catastrophe. And one of the options for survival is to unlock the ancient spacefaring technologies from the Earth's core, or Auriga's core, and escape to space. The Broken Lords also got past their whole discomfort with draining life from their followers by finding sufficient energy from Auriga's core to meet their dust needs there. But yep, that's it for me tonight, and that's it for my Endless Legend series, at least for now. I do have a little time, so I think I'm going to put in a short break on